During the post-fight press conference of his fight against Terence Crawford last weekend, Sean Porter dropped a bombshell. He officially announced his retirement from the sport of boxing, leaving with a record of 31 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw with 17 victories by way of knockout. Santino, according to Porter, he really intended to retire, win, lose, or draw against Terence Crawford last weekend. But the question is he really sincere about retiring? Kasi he's only 34 years old and the welterweight division still has a good lineup of fighters. Are you buying into his decision to retire this early, or do you feel he made that call out of frustration?
It's possible. It's highly likely that it's a frustration move. Kasi yun nga, you saw towards the end of the fight, kita mo yung frustration, he was banging his fists on the mat nung after the second knockdown. And the thing is kasi with boxers, we've seen this so many times with fighters saying they've retired and then coming back less than a year later or coming back just a few years later. At 34 may not be prime, but there are some people who would say that 34 is kumbaga pababa na ng peak but still at peak. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Sean Porter announce a comeback. Kasi syempre emotions running high, especially that kind of fight. He was in there until the 10th round when he was stopped. So syempre patong-patong na frustration yan. And yun nga, yung decision ng dad niya to stop the fight, on my opinion, prematurely, it could be a compounding elements in. So I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Sean Porter back. Very decent naman yung record niya, although he's lost 2 of his last 3. But still, his last 2 losses were against the top 2 guys in the division. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. So it's likely a frustration thing. Maybe when he's had time to relax, compose himself, think things over, think things truly, think things better. We could see na i-announce na he rescinds yung announcement niya. Kasi sa combat sports, we see that so many times.
Yeah, correct.
Kasi syempre, iba yung toll nung frustration. These guys train for months on end only to come up short after what? After a 10-round war na many people could have said that he was winning. So yeah, it could be a lot of that. It could be that. It could be just the frustration of being so close to victory and then having it snatched away at you can say the last minute.
Santino, if he's really firm with his decision to retire, nakakapanghinayang ba sa'yo for him to leave the sport knowing that he still belongs in the elite level? It was very evident in the fight against Crawford, and I don't know why the odds makers had him as a 7-1 underdog. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I remember yung 7-1 underdog. I think between the rounds, Max Kellerman was saying na Sean Porter should never be a 7-1 underdog. Pero yun nga, to your question kung nakapanghinayang, it's always nakakapanghinayang. Wow. It's always, talaga lagi naman nakakapanghinayang to see a fighter in his peak say goodbye or leave the sport. Kahit nga, even sabihin mo si Manny Pacquiao, who was considering he was far from his peak already. So when he retired, ang dami nagsabi na laking gawalan ng boxing. I think the same goes for someone who's still at the upper echelon of the division in Sean Porter. So yun nga. Of course, it's a sayang kasi I'm sure he could still go out there, give fans a ton of great fights. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't count heavily on that retirement. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the next year or so.
Santino, kung firm talaga siya sa desisyon, in 3 years' time, Porter will be eligible for induction to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. With his accomplishment as a boxer, as well as being one of the longest mainstays at 147 pounds, do you see him as a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, definitely, definitely. His resume speaks for himself, and like, the only losses on his record are to elite fighters. He himself has proven that he's an elite fighter, especially with his performance against Terence Crawford. I'd say he's a surefire Hall of Famer.